Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? I just wanted to get on here because we're going to go over some um, earthquake preparedness tips. Okay, this is not something I normally do on my channel or on God's channel, but this is not something I normally do. Okay, my channel normally consists of dreams the Lord gives me, warnings He gives me, words of revelation that He gives me for His people in general. Getting you to focus on your purpose and your calling. That's normally what this channel is about. However, if you did not listen to the word that I gave, I probably look tired. Y'all I'm tired tonight, but I have released a word about 3 dreams that I received over 3 different nights over the past 5 months. And the 3 dreams have now come together. And the Lord is warning that an earthquake is coming. Okay. I have a lot of family that lives near the New Madrid fault line that is in Missouri. I grew up in Western Kentucky, so I have a lot of family that lives there. And that's really, I think, why the Lord is showing it to me, because I do have a lot of family there. Because most of the time when He does speak to me, it's to warn people that I'm connected to, right? So I do believe that He is warning me to warn others about earthquakes coming to the New Madrid fault line. There have been several other people that have released a similar word. There's another person I listen to online called Cristiano, Servant of God. She had released this word. I forgot when it was exactly. I forgot the exact time that she released the word. But she hears from the Lord, and when she had released her word, she said that she was seeing the New Madrid fault. She's seen 8.0. She said the New Madrid fault will go first. She says she's seen 8.0. She's seen 10.0, mentioned the one in California. So I believe that the earthquake is going to hit in both places, but maybe at 2 different times. Okay, so both places, with the first being the New Madrid fault line, the next one being in California, because I've actually, in my dreams, I've seen the earthquakes I've seen the first ones going off in real time. I was trying to call my family and I could not reach them. The next one I was on a houseboat on the water, which could have represented being on the West Coast. Okay, but the last one I got, which was pretty much confirmation for me, was the Lord said that the shaking is still coming. Okay, and it was on 11/20. And when I looked it up in Strong's Concordance, which is what led me to do my video on earthquakes that are coming, was it meant to kneel down on your knees and to bow down, which is what you would do in the case of an earthquake. So what we're going to go over tonight is preparedness tips for an earthquake. Okay, I'm going to leave a link in the description of the pages I found online, the resources I found online. But I just pray that that something here helps you, because many of us had never been in an earthquake before. Think about it. Like, especially if you live near the Major Fault Line, right? There has not been an earthquake there since 1811. 1811, that is 214 years. 214 years. As a matter of fact, it was 214 years when the first one occurred, 214 years, almost 2 days ago. Okay, so nobody that you know, even in the past 100 years, okay, if you had a relative that was 100 years old to this day, none of them have experienced being in an earthquake, all right? So nobody knows what to expect if you live near the New Madrid fault line, right? Now, if you live in California, sure, because they're used to the shakings. They're used to it, right? They know what to expect. They know what to do. But if you have not been in an earthquake in over 200 years, which you have not been on Earth here that long, you will not know what to do, right? So that's the purpose of the video, is to go over what you should do during an earthquake, okay? And then we'll leave some resources. And I'm going to mention this now because this is something that I was actually starting at church. The children that I teach, we have been starting, or we're actually in the middle of starting, the kids ministry, and we're going to be collecting stuff for the homeless, doing the blessing bags. And we're also going to be collecting clothes items and stuff like that. And we are just now starting it. Okay, so we're brand new, from scratch. That's what the kids are doing as part of their ministry. They're going to take ownership of that. However, in the newness of this word that I have from the Lord, not only that, but the confirmations I've received from other people, along with a relative that I spoke with today. She received the same word. She's releasing the word to her church on Sunday because the Lord has told her to prep and how to prep specifically. Okay, he actually told me to start prepping a couple of months ago and just stocking up on stuff. And I live in Tennessee, right? So you would think if I live in Tennessee, which is not West Tennessee, but I live in Middle Tennessee, okay, like in almost really southern Middle Tennessee. So why would the Lord have me prepping? Okay, one or two things. If this earthquake is as big as as people are thinking it's going to be, okay, and in my dream I seen 7.0. I seen 7.0 in my dream when it was on the water, okay? But even a 7.0 would still cause damage in Middle Tennessee if it were to hit the New Madrid fault line, okay? Not only that, it will disrupt the order, it would disrupt the, what do you call it, the transfer of goods and services, right? The goods that come across the water, it would mess all that up, okay? So the Lord has been leading me to stock up for a couple of months now on things, and that's what I've been doing. So where was I at? So let's see. Yeah, I forgot where I was at. But anyway, I was saying that my cousin had got, not a cousin, but yeah, my cousin, she got the same revelation from the Lord that I got. And he had been telling her to stock up, and she was going to release the word to her church on Sunday. And speaking of that, I try not to even think about what others think. I just go with what the Lord tells me to do, okay? But there are going to be many people who are not going to listen to you, especially if you hear from the Lord and you're kind of prophetic, because some people don't really believe in it, or they might think it's psychic or something. I don't know what they think. I have no idea what people would think, all right? But when the Lord gives you a word, all you have to do is release the word, okay? Let the rest God handle, all right? So there are a lot of people that have heard about this word. I don't know if they're taking it seriously or not, but I'm doing my job to get the word out there, okay? That's my only job, is to get the word out there at this moment. However, I do believe the Lord has some other things in line too. But right now, I'm just getting the word out there, all right? That there is an earthquake coming. Don't know when, but again, like you will hear in the video if you listen to it, I feel like it's going to happen around the holidays, around Christmas, and there's not just me, other people feel the same thing, okay? But we know that the shaking is coming, like I said. Like he's shaking some things up right now. So we just have to be prepared, but stay prayed up, intercede, have Ask God to have mercy on your family and friends that are in those locations, and just ask God to protect you and cover you, right? Because He's going to protect His people. He's going to provide for His people. He's going to take care of His people, okay? And for those that are not currently His people, which we're all His people, but those that are not choosing Him in this season, He's going to give you a reason to choose Him, okay? He's going to give you that option, all right? But, so yeah. So the first thing I want to go over, and again, I'll post these in my video, okay? I don't think I have to explain what an earthquake is, right? It's when the ground shakes. It's the shifting under the ground, the plates that shift back and forth. Like I told my kids at church today, like when you rub your hands together and you create the friction, right? It's the shifting back and forth of the ground. And at one point it starts to shake and it starts to get faster and the whole ground shakes either a little or a lot. Okay, it's on a scale between 0 and 10, right? With 10 being the worst, with 10 being catastrophic, right? So, things to do before the earthquake, all right? The main thing you should do really is kind of walk through your home. Look for things on, I'm trying not to make this long, but look for things on your wall that should there be a severe shaking could fall off and hurt someone, right? Try to secure those things, tightly on the wall, all right? Especially with something that is really heavy, like some people have really heavy picture frames, right? That's something you might want to either secure more or just take down, okay? And again, earthquakes are unpredictable. That you don't know when an earthquake's going to hit. There are some warning signs that that the earth gets before an earthquake hits. All right, but nobody never knows when an earthquake is going to hit. There's no time stamp on that. Okay. So it says if you live in an earthquake-prone area, get your building evaluated to see if it can withstand an earthquake. Okay. As far as the things that are secure to the wall, think about stuff like, flat screen TVs. Is it secure, or is it one of those that you can kind of slide back and forth, stuff like that on the mount? Make sure that it is secure to the mount, right? Make sure the mount is secure to the wall, okay? Think about bookcases, right? Bookcases are big. Bookcases do hurt people. They have killed children. Secure your bookcases. Now the bookcases actually have things on the back, like you can put a screw in it and nail it to the wall, right? Secure your bookcases, okay? Secure those to the wall. Refrigerators, you can put the straps around it, okay? I don't know how that works, but I know you can get the straps and put around it, around your refrigerator to secure it. Mirrors, okay? Mirrors are very heavy objects that can fall off the wall and hurt someone. So mirrors, we said pictures already. Any kind of shelf, we said the bookshelves, okay? Bookcases, water heaters. I don't know why water heaters would be, but that would be outside, right? Most people's water heaters are outside their home, right? Like in the garage. But I guess that's one of the things they listed as making sure that it is secure. Okay. Earthquakes are generally not covered by a household or renter's insurance. Keep that in mind. Okay. Check with your insurance. Check your insurance policy to see if it covers earthquake damage. And that's a good thing to know, especially if you're a renter. Okay, if you're a homeowner, check your homeowner's insurance to see if it covers earthquakes. And I'm guessing that they're considering earthquakes to be like floods. You have to buy a separate insurance to cover things under an earthquake, right? Just like you have to buy flood insurance separately as well. Okay. The next thing is going over emergency skills. If you know CPR, just get up to date on that, right? because you may be someone that has to help others when an earthquake happens. Learn how to turn the utilities off in your home. Learn how to turn off the hot water heater. Learn how to turn off the gas, especially if you have gas. That's going to be very crucial in an earthquake. Make sure you know how to turn off. Make sure you know how to turn off the gas line. Okay, from the actual what you call it, the main line. So make sure you know how to turn that off. Keeping a fire extinguisher handy and learn how to use it. Okay, many of us have fire extinguishers, but I've never used one. I couldn't tell you how to use it. So I am one of those who has to learn how to use a fire extinguisher. I don't know how to use one. Okay. And then it's saying just be prepared to live without water, power, or gas. And we'll get into that later. Okay. But it says gather emergency supplies. So you need to gather enough food, water, and medicine. Really, you need enough food and water, I think, for about 3 days or longer. All right. But make sure you have medicines. If you are on prescriptions, make sure you have your medicines. Right. So this is something you want to put like maybe in an emergency supply kit or in a bug out bag. Right. Because the stores and the pharmacies, they're going to be closed, right? They're going to be closed. You can't go to the store and get medicine. You can't go pick up a prescription. And nobody knows when these places will reopen. Depending on how catastrophic the earthquake is, it may be months, okay? And in some cases, if you depend on where you live at, in the New Madrid, there's some small towns located there, all right? It may not ever reopen, okay? I'm being realistic, okay? Not putting fear into you, but I'm being realistic, all right? And it says get at least 3 days of supplies that you need that you can carry with you, including batteries and chargers for your devices, okay? This is where I wanted to mention, I think I was talking about this earlier, I forgot, I told y'all I'm a little tired tonight, but, so the kids at the church, we were going to be doing things for the homeless, right? But then this came up with the Lord, what he was showing me about the earthquakes. So what I'm doing is if you are in an area where you know that you're safe from an earthquake, right? You know that one can, like, for example, if you're in Florida, okay, you're not going to get affected by an earthquake that is hitting West Tennessee and Missouri in Florida. That's very likely that you will not be affected, right? If you are led, I'm going to leave my information in the description. If you would like to donate, because I am actually going to start building the blessing bags for the homeless and tying that in with anything that can go towards helping someone should there be an earthquake. Okay, now if there's not an earthquake, this stuff is going to go strictly to the homeless, okay, to those in need. However, if an earthquake occurs, this is going to be going to earthquake victims. So if you feel led, I will leave my info in the description, my Cash App, Venmo, and I would appreciate it if you could donate, because again, should this happen near the New Madrid Falling, this is going to affect a lot of my family and friends. Okay, that's where I grew up. That's where I was raised, born and raised. All right, so if you feel led, please give. And I will leave a list of the things that I'm going to be purchasing with that. All right. So it says here, like I said, get your stuff organized and your supplies organized in some kind of backpack or something you can carry on your back, right? You're gonna need some batteries. You'll need chargers for your devices if you can charge them. If you have a CPAP machine, for example, you need to take that CPAP machine. If you're able to stay at home, you need to have stuff at home for 2 weeks or more. Okay. If you need to, let's see, what else is it here? Sturdy shoes to protect your feet, okay, from broken glass. All right, what they say is actually one of the most common injuries in an earthquake is cutting your feet from broken glass. All right. So make sure you have some sturdy, hard-soled shoes. All right, that you can put on, including a flashlight, glasses, a dust mask, and a whistle. Okay, the whistle is for after the earthquake has occurred and maybe you get trapped. The whistle is for you to blow. They don't want you to scream or yell for help during an earthquake. You are to blow a whistle. Okay, that's how you let your location be known, is by blowing the whistle. Okay, and this is something I really want to get in advance because there's a lot of people again that will not be prepared for this earthquake. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do, is prepare them for the earthquake. So that is the main thing I'm going to get. If I can't get anything else, I'm going to buy a bunch of whistles. Okay. Says have 1 month supply of medication in a child-proof container. Your personal records, financial records, medical records, okay, bank records. Keep those in a safe, put them in like in a waterproof bag, right? Something that cannot get damaged, all right? Or have hard copies or stuff that's backed up where you can get it should you need to retrieve it, okay? It says consider keeping your list of medications and dosages on a small card to carry with you, all right? Now, those were things to do before the earthquake, okay? During the earthquake. Okay, the first thing you need to do, first of all, is if you are inside, you need to drop down on your hands and knees, okay? And try to get to a place of covering. You can go under a table or under a desk, right? Something that can cover your head, cover your body, right? So you should get on your hands and knees and cover yourself, right? If you're under a table, hold on to the table, all right, during the shaking, all right? If you are not covered, just cover your head and your neck, okay? Cover your head like that, all right? So the best place to be really is outside in the open, but if you cannot get outside in the open, that's what you do if you're inside. So you drop, cover, and hold on, okay? If you're outside, get away from power lines, get away from tall buildings that could tumble and fall where you are standing. So try to get away from those things, all right? And there'll be more information on the links that I'm going to provide, okay? So the next thing to do is, so you have your outdoors, it says drop, then crawl towards an open space if you can. Stay away from buildings, power lines, and trees. If you are driving, stop and stay in your vehicle. Avoid stopping near buildings, trees, overpasses, and utility wires. Proceed cautiously once the earthquake has stopped. Avoid bridges or ramps, okay? And you should know the reason why. They're going to be unstable, and many of them may not even be there anymore, okay? So if you're in a wheelchair or a walker, lock your wheels, remain seated until the shaking stops, okay? Just remember to lock your wheels, all right? Protect your head and your neck with your arms, a pillow, a book, or whatever is available. If you are unable to drop, brace yourself and protect your head and neck, okay? Those are things to do during the earthquake, okay? So after the earthquake, what you want to do is wait a minute before you get up, okay? Check for immediate dangers that are around you and protect yourself, okay? Look for broken glass or debris that's on the ground and put on some shoes if you don't have shoes on already, all right? If it is safe, exit the building and go outside to a clear area, all right? Check to make sure that nothing will fall on you, such as bricks, power lines, or trees, all right? If you do not have a safe area, it may be better to remain inside. This is when you will need your whistle, okay? Don't yell for help. Don't exhaust yourself yelling for help, okay? Plus, on top of that, you may take in dust or whatever else is inside the walls that have collapsed, all right? So blow the whistle. That's how you let people know where your location is. Okay, if you have a phone, if it's working, text somebody. Okay, if it's working, send a text or reach out on social media to let somebody know where you are. Okay. Um, let's see. If you are, yeah, and then it says expect aftershocks. Okay. Expect the aftershocks. If you are near the coast, a tsunami could follow the earthquake. Okay. As soon as the shaking stops, climb to safety. Okay. Walk quickly to higher ground or inland away from the coast. Okay. Don't wait for the officials to issue a tsunami warning. Get to higher ground. Okay. It says if you're trapped, protect. This is what it said. Protect your mouth, nose, and eyes from debris. Use a cloth, clothing, or a dust mask to cover your mouth and nose. Then you signal for help. This is where your whistle comes in. Use your whistle, or you can knock loudly on a solid piece of the building 3 times every few minutes. So wait a few minutes, wait 2 minutes. Okay, I know that wasn't 2 minutes, but that's how it's saying to knock. Okay, it says that rescue personnel knows these sounds. Okay, they know these sounds. That's why the knock is significant. Okay, you may have to care for some injuries, or you may have to help and assist others. All right. If your home is damaged and no longer safe, leave it and go to a safer place. Okay. Take your kit. Like I said, take your bug out bag, your whatever you have packed in preparedness for this, take it with you. Okay. Use flashlights, not candles. Okay. Due to fire risk. All right. Do not use matches, lighters, appliances, or light switches until you are sure that there are no gas leaks. All right. Sparks from electrical switches could ignite the gas and cause an explosion. All right. This is why it's important for one to make sure you cut, if you can, to turn the gas off. Okay. And even then, still don't do it because you don't know if your neighbor has cut their gas off. Okay. All right, next thing it says stay connected. Listen to your local radio if you can. It's great if you can have one of those crank up radios that charges itself up. That's a good thing to have. Okay, in your bag. All right. That way you can listen to a local radio or other news sources for emergency information. Let your friends and family know you are safe when you can. All right. And again, if you're trapped and your phone works, reach out via social media or via text message. Okay. Follow guidelines from your local officials. Okay. Inspect the outside of your home for damages before re-entering. If it's safe to do so, check the inside of your house. All right. Check for damages to the gas, water, electrical, and sewage system. If there is damage, turn the utility off. Okay. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home and call 911. Okay. And then once you're in a safe place, report it to the utility company. All right. And if needed, have your home inspected by a professional for damage and safety issues afterwards. Okay. And then the last one is to take care of yourself. You know, should this happen, this will be a very stressful time for everybody involved. Okay. Just like when the tornadoes hit Western Kentucky, I have a lot of family there too. The thing about the tornado that hit there, even though there was a lot of loss there, but there was also a lot of community support, right? A lot of community support, a lot. Trust me, a lot. Okay. My only, I don't want to be negative, but the only thing I can say is during this time, you're not going to be able, I personally don't believe you'll be able to rely on the government to help you. Okay? This is where God is going to put people in place to help you. The government can't even help the people in the Carolinas, in East Tennessee, in Florida right now, right? From the hurricane. They're out of money right now. People still need assistance right now, and they can't get it right now. People are trying to apply, and they're telling them the funds are no longer available. They don't have funds. They have to wait until it gets approved in the next Congress session or whatever. You're not going to be able to rely on the government when this happens. I mean, if you get help from them, that's great. But God is going to put people in place to help during this catastrophe. Okay? And again, nobody knows how bad it will be. I've been praying and asking God to diminish the intensity should this earthquake occur in this area, and to have mercy on the people that live in the area, to have mercy on them. But to diminish the intensity, because there are some things that we can pray against and intercede for, and then there's some things that we can't, because God is going to allow it no matter what. Okay? So in those cases, we just have to pray and ask God for mercy, to ask Him for mercy and protection and covering of His, of the people, period, of everyone. Okay? But so that is the earthquake preparedness checklist. All right. Now this next list is the list of things that you need to have really before an earthquake occurs. Okay. If you can't get it before an earthquake occurs, then try to get it afterwards. All right. But it's really best to have it beforehand. Okay, because it's going to go in your emergency supply kit. All right. So these are recommended items. This comes from FEMA. Okay. And the recommended items to have are water and non-perishable food for several days. Okay, think about stuff you do not have to cook. All right, and think about when you think about water. If you have kids, especially, get those small. Like I would get the small, something that's going to be able to fit in their backpack. Right, they need their own backpack, something that can fit in their backpack, like those small water bottles. Okay, because I know most of my kids, they'll get this full size like this, they'll waste it. Okay, so get them the small. I think this is 16 ounces. Get them the 8 ounce. Okay, put them the little, or I think it's even a 4 ounce. I don't think it's 8. It's like 4, but get the small ones to put in their backpacks. All right. Non-perishable food. You can get like and this is the time when you're not gonna worry about if it's organic. Okay, if it's sugar free, you're not gonna be worried about none of that. All right. But unless you can prep ahead of time, then you can buy that stuff, right? But get stuff that you don't have to cook, like the Vienna sausages, all right? Chips, fruit snacks, gummies, granola bars. What else can I think of? Granola bars, like cereal. Right, the little small boxes of cereal, even the little mini boxes. I used to normally see those when I was in kindergarten. Like the little small, tiny, personal size boxes of cereal. Stuff like that. What else? Something that's not going to perish. Okay, so non-perishable stuff. All right, non-perishable stuff. And then it says to get extra cell phone batteries or chargers. Okay, so yeah, just keep an extra couple in your backpack. Now, I don't know where you can charge these things unless you have one of those. If you have a generator, maybe you have a generator, at your house, and you can charge it up, that way. But some people may not have a generator, so they do have these things that you can buy online that are like kind of like small low power generators, like little personal size. I think you can use to plug in, small appliances like a cell phone, something like that. You can look online for those. Okay. Get you, like I said, a battery powered or a hand cranked radio that you can receive alerts from. Okay, and get you some extra batteries. All right. Flashlights, and extra batteries. Okay, batteries are gonna come in handy around this time. especially for those things that you're not gonna be able to plug up. Okay, that you can't power up. Okay, especially get a flashlight. Get those big, huge flashlights, like the camping flashlights. Okay, for the kids, get them the personal little tiny flashlights, which is something on my list here that I've added. Get them the small flashlights. Okay. Um, Whistles. Like I said, get the whistles. Put the whistles in their bag. Okay. The thing about the earthquake is you put all the stuff in a bag when you don't know where you're gonna be when it occurs. So, me personally, I would carry it everywhere I go. Okay, especially right now because people are telling you that an earthquake is coming. We're saying an earthquake is coming, and to prepare you for the earthquake, just take it everywhere you go. Okay. Um, so whistles, the dust masks, put those in your backpack. Um, and those are something I have on the list here that we do need assistance um, with the to filter out the contaminated air. You don't know what's going to be in the air at this time, right? Coming from buildings, the ground, whatever. Okay. It says plastic sheeting and duct tape to shelter in place. Now this one's one I don't understand. So maybe somebody can comment and tell me what that's used for. But the plastic sheeting and duct tape to shelter in place. Is that like for a makeshift tent? I don't know what that's for. So if you know, comment below. Okay. Um, Moist towelettes to clean your body. Right. You may not have running water, but you're gonna have to still keep your body clean. Okay. So get you the towelettes to clean your body. Okay. For sanitary reasons. You may need a wrench to keep in your backpack to cut off the utilities, okay? Can openers. You need those small can openers to open up those canned goods that you may put in your bug out bag, okay? That's another good thing to have too is canned goods, right? So you need a can opener to open up the canned goods, okay? Some other things that are going to be useful are your prescriptions and your glasses. Okay, infant formula if you have a baby, diapers, pet food, water for your pet, supplies for your pet, important family documents. Okay, like insurance, birth certificates, bank account records, and like I said before, keep them in a waterproof container, like a Ziploc bag, a waterproof container, but a Ziploc bag. Put that in a waterproof packaging, and then put that in some kind of portable container. Okay. Cash. You may need some cash because your cards are not going to work. Okay. Your debit card is not going to work. Your phone might not be working. So you're going to need some cash on hand. All right. You may need a first aid book because you may not know how to do first aid, and you may need to help and be of assistance to somebody else that's in need. Okay. So get you a small first aid book. Okay. What else is here? Sleeping bags. Okay, that's something you could probably have in your car. A sleeping bag, a warm blanket for each person in your family. Okay. Consider additional bedding if it's cold, and right now it's cold. It's in the middle of winter. What's about to be winter. Okay. A fire extinguisher. They have small ones. Okay, they have big ones. A fire extinguisher. It says to keep your matches in a waterproof container, okay? Feminine supplies for the women, personal hygiene products, hand sanitizer, okay? Paper cups, paper plates, disposable utensils, paper towels, paper and pencil for you to write on, and stuff for the kids to do, okay? Books, games, puzzles, crayons, other activities, coloring books, stuff to keep them occupied because they're going to be probably more stressed than you are at this time. So you have to keep them occupied and keep them from not thinking about what just happened, right? So you have to keep them occupied. But that is the list I'm going to be linking, and this came from www.ready.gov, and the other list that I read off, it came from from the American Red Cross. So I'm going to be linking both of those. Again, if you feel led, okay, the things that I read off on the list, the first part I read off, like the water, not the water, but, well, yeah, it was the water actually. But the things that I had highlighted here that you could help out with, okay, are either for sending donations to purchase like flashlights, extra batteries, whistles, the mask, okay, the towelettes, and the can openers. Those are the things on my list that I highlighted were that in bulk were pretty affordable. Okay, so on my list I'll put this list on here, and I'll put beside each list like how much it costs for the bulk. And it would be great if you could donate it. If you can't, that's okay. But God is going to again make sure that anybody affected by this earthquake is going to have a resource. Okay, and the people that know how God is moving in this season know what those resources, where those resources are going to come from. All right, so again, I pray that this video helped you out, and the reason I'm doing it is because an earthquake is coming. Okay, and nobody on the from the central U.S. east has been in an earthquake in over 200 years. All right, so as far as I know, okay, but it's just to prepare you, especially my family and friends that live on the New Madrid fault line. They're close to it, and even myself, because even with the New Madrid, if a 10.0 was to hit the New Madrid, it would affect here too. Okay, where I live at. So again, if you are felt led to help with this, should this catastrophic event occur, that would be great. And if this event does not come in the near future, right, we're still helping the homeless in our community. The kids are going to help the homeless in the community. So we'd be grateful to get that as well. We know a lot of people are struggling right now, and we're just trying to do our part as the body of Christ, right, which is to help those who are less fortunate. Okay, so leave your comments on the video. Let me know if you are in the path of the New Madrid fault line, if you live near it, if you need prayer, because I am still constantly praying for that area. Put it in the comments. Let me know if you had similar dreams, if God is telling you the same thing He's telling me. I really would like to know. And if you yourself are getting prepared. All right. So, again, I have you all in my prayers. And I will see you all later in the next video. Bye.